from the Side, ref.
Welcome back to In From The Side, our second show of the week, where we give you the roundup of this weekend's rugby in the Quilter Nations series. That's a shit name. Why don't they just stick to the Autumn Nation series? Welcome back to my co-host, Matthew Rhodes.
G'day, mates. Welcome back from 5 minutes ago.
I don't even know what Quilter does and why they call it, obviously the sponsors, but who knows what
the
they
Autumn
do.
Nation series sounds so much better, but we're getting to the it is the end of it anyway, right? I think
The end of it.
South Africa play Wales next week. Are there any other games next week, or is that just the only one?
No, that's it. That's the only test.
Oh, okay. So a fair few games to talk through. We should just jump straight into it, mate. Because
let's jump into it. Yeah.
Right.
Talking about Wales, they come up against the All Blacks at the Principality, and I think for 50 minutes of the game, Wales were competitive. They scored 4 tries, 3 tries to Tom Rogers. We just spoke off air about how rare a hat-trick against the All Blacks are. So, again, as with the game against Argentina, I think there's lots that Wales can be positive about on the attack. It's just the defense and their physicality that I think is costing them. I thought they were good value. They'd be more happy with that result than the All Blacks, to be honest.
I agree with you. I think Wales fronted up for the first half, the first 50 odd minutes. Say Tom Rogers is his name, I think, on the wing, got a hat trick. One of only 4 people ever to have done that against New Zealand. And yeah, they're very rare. So bank that. You'll be talking about that for the rest of his life. But they were good value, and they stuck in the game. They played some good footy, but you've got to play 80 minutes against the All Blacks. That being said, I thought that All Blacks, again, they were underwhelming. The scoreline at the end flatters them because in the last 20 they run away with it, but they just don't, again, you're 100% right. I think Wales walk away from that match, even though they were resoundingly beaten. They have more questions answered, and they would have a better feel-good factor walking away with, a fair few positives to take away, to put on that many points against, a good All Black team. I think equally on the other side of the coin, Scott Robertson and his boys would be frustrated, would be still scratching their heads. They can't put a full 80 together at the moment. So the scoreline definitely flattered them.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think you're right. The last 20 minutes, you can see that the All Blacks are a little bit more seasoned. It's at the end of a long season for them, so they had a lot of rugby and they had a lot of experience that they could bring on from the bench. So the result was never in question, but they wouldn't be. It's odd, but it says something about New Zealand rugby and the high standards that they set for themselves. Even if you listen to your mate Martin Devlin, he said the same thing. He's like, yeah, I know, you're best buddies. But he said the same thing. They got the job done. It was a bit of a nothing test. Win and you. It's actually a lose-lose situation, because if you win far, people just say, "Oh, it's Wales." But when you struggle, then people say, "Oh, it's Wales. You shouldn't struggle." So, and the same is going to stare the Springboks in the face this weekend. People expect us to win and win comfortably. So a bit of a nothing game, which is sad.
More so, I think, to do it in the right manner, to be structured, to be coherent, to play systemized, kind of structured rugby, and to do it, with dominance. New Zealand, the All Blacks, should have dominated Wales on the basis of simply Wales have been 6s and 7s. They've lost 14 odd games in the last 14 odd months. I think they've won 1 or 2. They're all over the shop. Their administration is all over the shop. They've got a lot of heart, and they've got a lot of passion. And you can see that with the way that the crowd is still behind them, the way that they sing their national anthem. It's a very rugby proud nation, but they're all over the shop. And so while they were good value, on the other side of that coin, New Zealand should have gone there and absolutely smashed them and done it with dominance. And they're just not. They're not dominating. They didn't really dominate the French when they played against them. even against, a kind of second string young French side who toured them earlier in the year. Didn't really, I mean, they won all three, but they didn't dominate it. They should have absolutely smashed them. They should be smashing people left, right, and Chelsea, and they're just not
Yeah.
doing it. So,
No, they're not.
again, more questions than answers for Robertson, Razor, and again, more questions than answers for the entire All Black supporting nation.
Yeah. Talking about questions and no answers, Australia, it's the end of a long season for them. I must say the game against France was massively entertaining to watch. Like, as a neutral, that was fun to watch. Some great tries by both teams. Again, Australia punching above their weight. I thought they did well to bring it to 19 all. They stayed in the game. At one point, it was, 33-26, something like that. So they were always in the game. Joe Schmidt's last game as Wallaby coach, they just continued this roller coaster ride that was 2024 and 2025. One game they beat the Springboks at Ellis Park by a record score, and then they lose to Italy in the same season. It's like, you don't really know what to make of Australia. But France, after a poor showing, again, I don't think they played that poorly against South Africa. South Africa was just that good. And an underwhelming performance against Fiji last week. They came out guns blazing, and specifically, I think Deporter in the midfield, he's a new superstar for them. He looks really good. And our man on the wing, Bielle-Biarrey, just pulling the strings. He was phenomenal.
I made a joke to my wife when they were showing the team selections, and I said, "Do you think that they want to get him deported?" And the simple answer is no.
No, they'll keep him.
They'll be keeping him. What a player! What a star! I think he's taken a chance. By the scruff of the neck, made it his own. Bielle-Biarrey, just awesome, just out and out pace. But some of the passes to him in space, when the one last try in particular, when you make a break, it's all well and good, but then you got to finish it off, and some of those passes were just crisp.
Beautiful.
France played really well. Yeah, I think France played really well, and I still think, even though they beat Australia in the way that they did this last weekend, even if they'd brought that game to the Bokke game, I think we still would have beat them. So a really good showing by them to kind of pick themselves up and beat an Australian team who were looking to prove a point. But Australia really got to go back to the drawing board now. New coach coming in. They've got talent. They've got talent across, their various different codes. They brought Suoli'i in. They're just missing a secret sauce, where they're so inconsistent. I think they just got to find some consistency somewhere along the line. Get a framework, a DNA, and a pattern that they want to play to, and then just run with it and try and find some success, and then build on that momentum. Because they seem to win, flash in the pan type stuff, really, really good. Everyone's cheering, and then they fade away in the next games that follow. So
Yeah.
you have to see. You want to see them at the top, because we want to be competitive against the best in the world. But they're just not there right now.
I think they need to pick a fly off and back him. Like, I think that's been an Achilles heel for them, is that they've selected 5 fly offs this year. You've got Lolesio, Liner, Carter Gordon is back now, Tane Edmed. There's a couple of guys, James O'Connor, he played fly off. So they need to settle on a pivot, like we've done with Sasha, and say, we're just going to back you. You're number one. You run the show. But you're right, they've got talent. Like Max Jorgensen, that try he scored down the wing. I thought he fluffed it when he kicked it, but his composure and his vision to see, I'm going to be caught. Let's just chip it ahead. They can't tackle me. Gather the ball, score. Try of the day goes to Angus Bell. He channeled his inner Richard Bands and ran again. When he tells that to his kids, he's going to run from his own halfway line.
For sure.
That was a thing of beauty. So they've got the talent. It's just building that consistency. We'll see how they go next year.
Yeah, fair.
Absolutely. Okay. Some other notable results on Sunday. I didn't watch the game, but I did watch the highlights. I don't know if you got around to it, but Scotland thumping Tonga 56-0, similarly as they did to the USA. A bit of a nothing game. The most notable thing about this game is the number of cards. Tonga getting 3 yellows and a red. Very
Yeah.
similar to the Springbok Island game, but a couple of old stalwarts. Duan getting back on the score sheet. Carl Steyn, he looked good. Ewan Ashman scoring 2 tries. He's becoming a bit of a try scorer for them. He got a double the other day, I think, against Argentina. And now he's got 2 again. Just a normal day at the office for Scotland. I keep calling them an average side. So they're an average side who beat a poor Tongan side. That's how I look at it.
Scotland are a world-class team when they play second-tier nations, right?
That's going to be a popular quote, Matt. We'll edit that
It's
to
the
start the
truth.
show with that.
It's the truth. They're,
It
they're a
is. It
world-class
is.
team when they play second-tier nations. So Tonga were the Tonga of old, obviously big forwards. Ben Tamifuna, we know what he's all about. Used to play for the Chiefs, now plays for Bordeaux. He's a man mountain. He's their captain. Really big forwards, agile forwards, but they lack discipline when it comes to the discipline lets them down. That's why they get as many cards. The one lad who got a card, I think it got upgraded to a red. There's literally no arms, just running straight into someone, right? It's like you just, it's the Western Samoa Tonga of old. They used to just go in and want to bash people. That being said, they've
Very
got some
physical.
exciting runners in the back, right? In the back line. And they could, like, I see Fiji have kind of elevated themselves above the likes of Tonga and Western Samoa, who all seem to be sort of banded in together. Fiji have got good systems, good structures. Their forwards have, a really good DNA about them. They know what their processes are. They follow those. They've firmed up their discipline. The back line is really exciting. And again, they've got a good coaching staff. They seem to have kind of elevated themselves, above the other Pacific nations teams who are all kind of still playing that traditional rugby of just let's try and bash people and hope for the best,
Yeah.
which on the scoreline you'll see doesn't reflect, positively. That being said, Scotland were able to play free and flowing rugby, and they were also up against a team that had a man down or 2 men down at one time, and so they could. And so, like I say, it looked sexy, it looked great, and they looked like they were a world-class, world-beating team, but they were coming up against
They play
subpar
Tonga.
opposition. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, so just a normal day at the office for Scotland, but the other big one on game that was played yesterday at Twickenham, which was actually very enjoyable again to watch as a neutral, was
lovely.
England taking on Argentina. Close
Yeah,
game at the end. I mean, I looked at the score 17-3 up and I thought, geez, I didn't expect this, but similar to what happened between Argentina and Scotland, never right off the RGs. They came within a whisker of upsetting England. But if you listen to everybody in England, they're the best team in the world. We're lucky we didn't play them because they would have thumped us, apparently. So we'll see next July when they travel to South Africa to play against us, who's got the bragging rights. Was I that impressed with England? In parts, yes. I think they've
yeah.
unearthed some new talent that's exciting. Obviously, we talk about Henry Pollock, Faye Waboso, Max Ojomo now in the midfield. I think is the real
Max
deal.
Joman had a swarmer
He
of a
had a
game.
fantastic game. So they can be happy
Um,
with a win because Argentina, to their credit, they're a quality outfit. And
yeah,
if they had won that game, I wouldn't have been surprised. But I think England did well to hang on in the end.
and I think if you look back on our last show, I think we said the same. We both said, I think, I thought Argentina would win it, but only by just. And if England won it, I wouldn't be surprised, and vice versa. So it kind of was a bit of an even Steven type of game. And the scoreline definitely reflects that. I thought, Argentina did really, really well to claw their way back into the game. They're obviously a very passionate nation. It was exciting to watch the last 10 minutes, the last 5 minutes in particular, was really, really good. I thought they fluffed their lines. They got the penalty, go for the corner. You have to win your set piece. And I think if they do, they had, they had the dominance leading up to that moment to maybe go over and score another try, in which they would have won it by 1 point without the even kick to take into consideration. So again, we say this all the time. No matter what you do, you got to get your set piece right? And so
Yeah.
you can kick for the corner, get yourselves down there, and if you fluff your lines, you've wasted your opportunity, and that's exactly what happened. I thought Freddie Stewart had a good game. George Ford has been fantastic coming into the frame.
He's a
I
new
think
player.
but like he's found some new life. He's playing with so much composure. He's really done exceptionally well throughout this Autumn Nation series, and I think has kind of cemented that fly half berth as his own as a consequence. But yeah, I think they were they were a really strong outfit, and England are always a really formidable opposition to come up against at Twickenham. So with that crowd behind them, they're always going to be difficult. The true test of their mettle will be mid next year. Let's see how they go. They're building a lot of momentum. That's what you need. You need belief. You need confidence. You need depth. And clearly, by bringing in the type of players that they did over the weekend, it shows that they've got that. But they need to come up against some serious opposition, like the Springboks, in order for them to call themselves the best. And that's always going to be the case. The Springboks are world number one, world champions back to back. Said it again. And if you want credibility, you've got to beat them. And as it stands, no one's done that so far. So no one's done that in the Autumn Nation series. To be clear.
Yeah. No, absolutely. No, that'll be the test. But obviously, they're going to take a bit of a break now. All the Northern Hemisphere teams, and then it's on to the Six Nations. It's early days, but I think England is taking a lot of momentum into the Six Nations. They're playing Ireland at Twickenham. They're playing Ireland at Twickenham, not in Dublin. So, I think it's going to come down to the England-France game. I'm not sure where they're playing. It might be in Paris, but it's going to come down to that game to decide the Six Nations. And I wouldn't be surprised if England at least win the Six Nations or walk away with a Grand Slam. They look like the best of the bunch in the Northern Hemisphere currently.
Yeah. And I've always had a belief when it comes to any kind of cup type competition, whether that be football, rugby, etc. You need strength and depth. You need momentum. So you need to have success leading up into that tournament, so that you've got belief and you've got confidence, and then you need a little bit of the rub of the green to go your way. So a little bit of luck, but strength in depth and the momentum behind you, and you can do well. And they've definitely got that in spades. So fair play to them.
Absolutely. Okay, so Matt and myself, we debated this off air. We discussed who were the top performers outside of the game South Africa played against Ireland, looking at all the other internationals over the weekend. And we picked our MVP of the weekend, and we thought guys who were in with a shout were Max Ojomo. He had a great game against Argentina. Great. Was instrumental in all three tries. He scored one. He was involved in the other two. Tom Rogers, obviously, for his hat-trick against the All Blacks. Like you said, Matt, only the fourth player ever to score a hat-trick against the All Blacks, so it's that rare that happens, so credit to him. But we both agreed. We looked at it. I think the player that deserves our MVP of the weekend is World Rugby Player of the Year nominee. He didn't win it, but he got nominated. Louis Bielle-Biarrey, who was just absolutely phenomenal, electric on the weekend. What a great player.
Mate, the breakout on the wing, the chip over, collect. It was all done in motion as well, the chip. So he didn't break stride to collect it, and as he does that, to sidestep and go under.
At pace, beautiful.
At pace, that's pure talent. Like the boy, it's all well and good having pace to burn, right? And he's got plenty of that. He's got wheels. But to be able to have the kind of movement he has, almost like a sway in motion, and to have the rugby nous and brain to read what he needs to do in order to affect creativity and to take on space, to find the space and then to go over and score. Your man was just awesome. He was really good. So he definitely deserves our nomination for the week.
Yeah, absolutely. Great player. Unlucky not to win World Player of the Year. If France had done better, I think he would have been in with a shout. But that's it, Matt. That's the Quilter Nation series wrapped up. We're going to do this once more next week. Looking forward to have you back in the UK. So we'll do this in person next week, Monday. We've got a couple of great ideas for the show. And for the folks out there, we're going to continue to remind you, we are posting our show every single week on The Real Rugby and on the newly created In From The Side YouTube channels. Please show us some love. Go and click the link in the description below and go and subscribe on the channel. Next year, our show will be dedicated and only be available on our own dedicated channel In From The Side. But for now, we're signing off and we'll chat again next week. Cheers.
Yes.